Hello everyone, welcome back to Hero Wars Guide. I want to talk today about this Power of the Titans event, as well as a few improvements that I've just finished for the site. So I've been away for a little bit of time. I was away rock climbing for a bit, I was sick for a little bit, and my mom is staying with me and my wife as she is battling cancer, so I've been busy with that lately. But today provided a pretty good window to get a little bit of stuff done. First, I want to talk about a little change to the site. You may notice on screen here that some of these icons are a little different. And where these events that deal with event points and emerald coins used to look more like this, where everything that rewarded event points just looked flat since they have no direct emerald value. Basically everything except for the one get event points task, which did pay emerald coin rewards, just had these flat lines. And so I've modified that so that if there's a task that's paying event points, these lines are showing instead for each milestone you get the number of event points divided by the effort that you put into it. And I say effort you put into it because some of these things don't have like an emerald cost, for example. Logging in is just the number of times that you log in. For summoning spheres, it's just the number that you open. I am assuming you have these on hand rather than buying them. Or Titan skins, where in cumulative numbers you get 75.5 per skin level if you go all the way up to 40. And then these charts are telling you that some of the later milestones pay a much higher number per skin stone level that you apply. And then for the tasks that do require you to spend emeralds, like spending emeralds for example, it's showing you the amount of event points that you get per emerald spent. So that one's really clear for this task, but for, if there was a task for opening outland chests or something like that, then this would show you the event point payout relative to the emeralds that you have to spend at each milestone along the way. And then, of course, you can click into them to get a little bit more of a detailed view. This gives you the numeric sense of how many event points you get rewarded for each milestone of emeralds spent. So with this final one as an example, it being at 0.1, that must mean that you spend these 10,000 emeralds to get from 50 to 60k, you'd be getting 1,000 event points. And that ratio is a little bit better at the very end than most of the part before it. Alright, so that covers these lines. And then I also added this column. This will be here for both traditional events as well as the event point style. This helps give you a sense of the relative size of each one of these tasks. So based on the milestone that I've selected, this is the grand total of either event points or emerald value of the task. So you'll see this is 4350, but if I knock it down, that tells you that if you spend 15,000 emeralds, you're getting 800 event points from this task. And then finally, this column here is what you have previously seen just talking about emeralds, but now is updated for either event points or emerald. And this one is the cumulative, not the per milestone number, but similar to this, it's the cumulative ratio of event point payout to emeralds spent. So you'll see this number change as you move from one milestone to another. In this case, since the trend goes up, you'll see the cumulative ratio go up the further into spending emeralds that you get. So hopefully that will help you guys out as you understand just at a glance how big these tasks are up against each other. So for example, spending all 10,000 energy really gives you very little compared to most of the others, and leveling a Titan skin 40 times is almost as valuable, 2/3 I guess, a little more than 2/3 as valuable as spending 60,000 emeralds. Okay, so I think that covers what I have just modified on the site recently. Then I want to spend a little bit of time talking about this Power of the Titans event. So what we have on screen, this is a 21% ROI if you max the whole thing out. And that's a pretty weak number relative to any other event that you look at. Maybe not the absolute worst, but definitely well into the lower half. And it's worth noting that this is based on the emerald coin value from when Titan skin stones are in the shop. That shop item kept the value of the emerald coin at about what we see in any typical event, which is something like 0.32 emerald value per emerald coin. However, they controversially removed Titan skin stones from the shop, even though that was really the only worthwhile item in it. Almost everything else is Titan souls, which, I guess if you're a brand new player, you don't have all the Titans evolved. It can be nice, but it's still not what you should ever be spending on, even as a brand new player. I don't think you want to spend your resources on either of Titan souls or Titan potions. Those things are going to organically grow so much faster than the other Titan resources that when you're picking and choosing where you want to spend, I think you should spend in the categories that you're going to need for the long term. I've never exchanged an emerald for a Titan potion in all the time that I've been playing the game because I was pretty quickly able to see the pattern that would max out more quickly. And nevertheless, all my Titans are done leveling, and I've got at least 1 million Titan potions that do me absolutely no good whatsoever. And meanwhile, I'm something like half done with skins. So even as someone newer to the game, you'd just have another 50 or 100 or 200,000 Titan potions sitting there unusable if you were to spend your efforts on Titan potions as opposed to some of the longer term needs. That said, the Titan artifact fragments are a little less clear. You are much more likely to need those for the long term than soul stones and potions, but you'll still max them out most likely far before skins. And if you're a big spender chasing down the various totems that you need through the Altar of the Elements, then you're probably not going to need many of those artifact fragments either. So in my situation, and I don't really know how many of you are going to be there with me, but the potions, the soul stones, and the fragments or elemental tournament coins hold 0 value whatsoever. So now the most valuable item in the shop is that doll that they've added. However, that's not very valuable. I think it's somewhere in the realm of 30 or 40 emeralds. It's Emerald Summoning Doll, and based on a history of opening 650 of them, average emerald value of about 36. And I've got some overrides specified here, but they're not even as aggressive as they really ought to be, since soul stones aren't worth anything to me. Really, the average value of a doll is about 24 emeralds, and they cost 800 of the emerald coins. So if I really wanted to get an accurate sense of the value of this event, then I would have to apply a custom override of the emerald coin. Instead of calling it 0.3, it's really more like 0.03, since those dolls are only worth 24. And then that's really going to drive down the value of this event. So at this point it's extremely clear that this is the worst event that has ever been created in the game, at least for me, where I'm at in the game, and I think is universally horrible even for newer players. You don't want to spend anything into these categories of resources. I was lucky enough to get into the event before they tanked the rewards and do something in the realm of this to get a decent number of emerald coins that at the time were worth something like 40,000 emeralds instead of 3,600. Hopefully many of you are in a similar camp. Anyway, I think look for them to change this event. Hopefully if it does come around in the future, it will be revamped to have something of marginal interest in the shop, or maybe just scrap it entirely and bring out the events that they've been kicking down the can for a couple months now, like Night and Day, which does actually provide some resources worth acquiring. Alright, so long story short, worst event ever, don't spend anything. Alright, it's good to be back. I've got a couple of other ideas for videos that I think will be very interesting, so I hope to get those out sooner rather than later this time. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you again soon.